Okay, chapter 10, we're going to start off with 10.1, talking about permutations as well as the fundamental counting principle. And what this is aimed at is how to find out the number of outcomes that are possible. So let's start off with talking about a simple example. Just say, for example, you go to a restaurant and there's two soups, so you can choose one of the two soups, and there's three sandwiches, and you can choose one sandwich. How many different lunches could you have with one soup and one sandwich? Well, we can diagram this using a tree diagram by basically saying, okay, you could choose soup number one, or you could choose soup number two, and then you could choose one of three sandwiches. And so if you look at these end points here, you can see there's 6 possible routes that you could take. You could go down this route, or down this route, or down this route, but you can see there's going to be an end result of 6 different possible outcomes. Now, when there's a lot more choices, the tree diagram would get a lot larger and it would be a lot harder to calculate by making this big tree diagram. So an easier way to do it is to use the fundamental counting principle. And the way this works is you look at how many choices there are in each category. So for example, there's 2 sandwiches possible. You're just going to pick one of the 2. There's 3 sandwiches. You're going to just choose one of the 3. So if you multiply 2 times 3, you can see you're getting the same 6 outcomes we had as we saw in the tree diagram. So that's a nice technique, fundamental counting principle for finding the number of outcomes. Let's look at another type of problem that you're going to encounter, and that's when you're talking about a permutation. A permutation is basically an ordering of items. So you say, well, how many ways could I order n items? Okay, an example would be like, say for example, you had a batting order. So there's 9 batters in a baseball game, right, in a batting order. And so you say, well, how many ways could you rearrange that batting order so that maybe the catcher bats first, or maybe the pitcher bats second, or you want to rearrange all those different players. So one way to do it is just to use the fundamental counting principle. You could say, well, there's 9 choices for who bats first. Once you pick that person that bats first, then there's going to be 8 choices for who bats at the second position. Once you pick those 2 batters, there's going to be 7 people left. You're going to choose one of those to bat third, all the way down to 1. And if you multiply those together, that's going to give you the total number of batting orders or possible permutations or orderings of those players. An easier way to represent this is with a factorial, 9 factorial. And I'm going to show you where this is on your calculator in just a moment. But this exclamation point just represents taking this number 9 and multiplying all the way down to 1. So it's just kind of like a shorthand way of describing that. So fundamental counting principle, or you can use this formula n factorial, and that's just an ordering of n distinct or unique or different items. How many ways could you rearrange them? So n factorial. Now one thing to realize is that 0 factorial, you just have to memorize this one, it's equal to 1. 1 factorial is 1, and then after that 2 factorial would be like 2 times 1, 3 factorial, 3 times 2 times 1, which is 6, etc. Now another concept we want to talk about here are permutations of n items taken r at a time. So what that means is, say for example you had the letters A, B, C, and you said, well, I just want to choose 2 of those letters where the order matters. The order is important when you're talking about a permutation, because if you switch them, say for example you have like a president and a vice president, if you switch those 2 people, they're going to have 2 different jobs, right? So it's going to be important, the order, when you're talking about permutations. But let's just see if we can write out the possibilities here. You could have A and B, you could have B and A. Okay, that's a different permutation. You could have C and A, you could have A and C, you could have B and C, or you could have C and B. So you can see there's a total of 6 different permutations of the 2 letters out of the 3 possible. So you could either write them all out and count them up, but as you get working with larger items, it's going to be very difficult to do this. So that's where this formula comes in, NPR. It equals n factorial over n minus r factorial. So for this example, n is 3, because we have 3 items, A, B, or C, and we're picking, okay, you can think of you're picking 2 of them where the order matters. So we can see here this is going to be 3 factorial, and then 3 minus 2 factorial. Well, 3 factorial is really like 3 times 2 times 1, and 3 minus 2 is just 1 factorial, which is just 1. So you can see this is 6 divided by 1, which is 6, and that's the same result that we got here, the 6 different ways of picking 2 items out of 3. So the last concept I want to talk about before we get into some examples that you can practice are talking about permutations with repetitions. Now, what does this mean? Well, see over here we talked about n factorial. This is an ordering of n distinct or different or unique items. But say, for example, you want to see like how many ways could you rearrange the letters in the word Alaska, okay? So you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters. So normally we would say there's 6 factorial ways of, arranging these 6 items. The only problem is that if I put this A over here and this A over here and this A over here, it would still look like the word Alaska. So it's not really like a distinct or a different way of, representing those letters. It would look the same. So if we want to look at the different ways of representing these 6 letters, different orderings, the different permutations, we have to divide out the multiplicities or the duplicates or the triplicates. So the way we would do that is if we've got 3 A's, we're going to divide by 3 factorial. Remember, 3 factorial from this problem was 3 times 2 times 1, which is 6. So there would actually be, like if we were to label this as A1, A2, A3, there would be 6 different ways to arrange these 3 A's, but it would still look like the word Alaska. So we don't want to count that 6 times. We only want to count that word as Alaska once. Also, are there any other duplicates? If there were any other duplicates, we would divide by those other, let's say there was like 2 L's, I would divide by 2 factorial, etc. So from here you can simplify, but don't make this mistake. 6 factorial divided by 3 factorial does not equal 2 factorial. So you just have to write this out. It's going to be 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 over 3 factorial, which is 3 times 2 times 1. Notice the 3, 2, and 1 cancel. We just have 6 times 5 is 30, times 4 is 120 different orderings of the letters in the word Alaska that are different. Now let's look at another example. Want to learn Algebra 2? Check out my Learn Algebra 2 video course for sale where we go through 85 video lessons that take you step by step by step through Algebra 2. We go through the important formulas, concepts, as well as numerous examples to help you master Algebra 2. Click the interactive card or the link in the description below to go over and check out some of the free lessons. Otherwise, let's get back into this current lesson. Now let's look at another example. Say we have ALADDIN, right? So ALADDIN, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's going to be 7 factorial ways of arranging those letters. But because we have 2 A's, we're going to divide by 2 factorial, and we also have 2 D's, we're going to divide by 2 factorial. Again, this does not equal 4 factorial. You just have to just do them separately. So 2 times 1, 2 times 1, and then 7, 6, all the way down to 1, and you can reduce. Hey, I want to show you on the TI-84 where some of these key functions are, these key buttons. So let's go ahead and calculate 4 factorial. So what you would do is you would type in 4, and you would go over here to Math. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4th key down here on the left, so Math. And if you take a look over here where it says probability, P-R-O-B, you just want to arrow to the right, probability, and then arrow down to the number 4. It looks like an exclamation point, so that's your factorial. Notice above it you've got your combinations, which we're going to talk about in a future lesson, and the permutations, NPR. But for right now, let's just go ahead and press the number 4 factorial. So 4 factorial is 24, and it makes sense. Over here you can see 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 4 times 3 is 12, times 2 is 24, times 1 is still 24. So just a shortcut here, you can use your calculator for some of these ones where it's a larger than 4, larger numbers. But let's go ahead and look at number 3, permutation 2. So out of 3 items, you're picking 2 where the order matters. We did an example like that in the lesson. But what you would do is you would go ahead and type in 3, go over to Math again, and you want to arrow over to probability, down to number 2, permutations, and 3P2, and press enter in the lower right hand corner, and you can see it comes out to 6. Okay, here's your opportunity to practice. So go ahead and pause the video and do each problem on your own, and we'll go through them together. Number 1, it says, how many ways are there to order a sweatshirt that comes in the following colors: blue, black, red, and white, and then it comes in the following sizes: small, medium, or large. So how would you do that problem? You're trying to figure out how many different sweatshirts that are possible to order, different sweatshirts, right? Given the 4 colors and the 3 sizes. Well, if I was going to do this problem, I'd use the fundamental counting principle, and I'd say 4 times 3, there's 12 different possible outcomes. The other option that you can do is you can make a tree diagram, so you can go to 4 different colors, and then once you pick that particular color, you have 3 sizes. So you can make a tree diagram that looks like that, and if you count the ends here, you're going to see that there's 12. So your answer is 12 for number 1. So for number 2, try this one. How many ways are there for 30 students in a class to stand in a row? So if you can kind of visualize that there's 30 people in a class, how many ways could they stand in a straight line in a row? How would you do that one? Well, this one you could diagram it out if you want. You could say there's 30 choices for who stands furthest to the left here. Once you pick that person to stand furthest to the left, there's 29 people to choose from to pick that person to stand second furthest to the left. All the way down to 1, you would multiply those together. Or you could use 30 factorial. This is just using the formula n factorial. That's a way of how many ways can you arrange n items, n different items. And so that's it, 30 factorial. You can do this on your calculator. It's going to be quite a large number. Okay, how about number 3? It says, how many ways are there to pick a president and a vice president out of a class of 30 people? Okay, so now here you can see the order is important, because if you switch those two positions, president and vice president, the two students would have a different job. But how would you do that one? So what do you think? Well, if I was going to do it, I'd recognize that it's a permutation, it's an ordering, right? But what we have is 30 people, and we're picking 2 where the order matters. So we've got 30p2. Now remember our formula, it's n factorial over n minus r factorial. And so if you go ahead and expand this out, you can see this is going to be 30 times 29 times 28 all the way down to 1, okay? 30 minus 2 is 28 factorial, which is 28, 27, 26, all the way down, multiplying all the way down to 1. Those cancel, so it's really just going to be 30 times 29. And if we do that on the calculator, you can see that's going to be 870 different ways of picking a president and a vice president. Okay, last problem. See if you can do this one. How many unique ways are there to order the letters in the word algebra, right? So this is like an Algebra 2 type question. So let's see, it's very appropriate here. So what do you think? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 letters. Notice that there's some repetitions here. We've got 2 A's. All the other ones just occur once. So how would you do that one? Well, if I was going to do it, I would say, okay, we said 7 letters, and there's 2 A's, so there's actually 2 different ways of, if I interchange these 2 A's, it would still look like the word algebra. So we want to divide out those multiplicities, those duplicates. And so if we simplify this, it's going to be 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, all over 2 times 1. Notice the 2 and the 1, of course, cancel. And you just have to multiply 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3, which comes out to 2,520, and you've got it. So great job. A few formulas you need to memorize are the factorial and also the NPR, the permutations of n objects taken art at a time. I'll see you in the next lesson.